Thank you for choosing to watch the Watchman News Headlines video. Our full episodes can now be seen over at Patreon with much more added content for just $2 a month. Link is in the description. If you cannot afford $2 a month, please consider using our Amazon affiliate link, purchasing from our Teespring store, or making a PayPal donation. All links are below. In order for us to grow, we have to make changes to enable it. Our time is valuable, and we have been one of the very few news sources actually dedicated to bringing you honest, hard-hitting, actionable news and information. Plus, for your $2 a month, you do not have to hear me blabber about these links. It's a win for us all.
Bullshit.
Thank you. Good evening, Watchmen and Watchwomen of YouTube. So, we talked tonight about police reform and what it really means. And we talked about federal levels of it, local levels of it, state levels of it, obviously. And, my thoughts on it, a lot of my thoughts on it. I know it's a hot topic, and I know that there's a lot of people that get all touchy-feely when you start talking about police reform. It is what it is, right? If you've never been on the bad end of law enforcement, then you really, in all honesty, you've got no room to speak. And I don't think it's going to be a really long period of time from now before more people than you could ever imagine are going to be at that bad end of it, right? Because the reason why so many haven't been at the bad end of it is because their own individual liberties have not been affected in a manner to where they thought that they really had to act on it. And so I think a lot of people are going to figure it out really, really quick, especially as gun laws start coming down the pike at us and people get out literally in the streets to protest these types of things. And I think we're going to see it coming. And I think you're going to see a very, very heavy hand come down on the American citizens in this country very, very soon. And I think the people that have been so staunch about their support, I think are going to figure it out what it means to be a victim. And it's not a fun position to be in, and it's not that I would certainly want to foment discontent towards any group of people or anything of that sort. But it's a discussion that we need to talk about, and it's a discussion that if we don't talk about, it's going to blindside us, right? And I don't want anybody. In fact, we had long said for years, we had said here that we had wanted to be a bridge between the average everyday American citizen and law enforcement, that we were more than welcome to be that bridge, right? To be that referee, so to speak, in a conversation, I think that we can be trusted enough to be able to keep a conversation constitutional. And I think that's the important part here, is that it's kept constitutional. I think we certainly can be trusted with that, and hopefully we could keep it civil. I can't guarantee that part of it, especially with today's society, but I would try. The fact of the matter is we've got a standing army in this country. We have got the standing army that our founding fathers warned us about already, right? And a lot of people don't realize it because that army hasn't been used against them yet. I think that's to come, because paychecks are going to mean more than you. I'm going to say that one more time. Paychecks are going to mean more than you. You just wait and see. So anyway, I've got headlines. We're going to do these headlines. We're going to get out of here for the night and go from there. I will say that I did release the threat assessment, the weekly threat assessment for this past Friday. That's not something that's going to happen. I did that so folks could see. I do want to make a note on that, though. I have already gone through some changes to the way I do things, and so, like, for instance, my talking points, the specific articles that I wanted to point out and discuss a little bit in the threat assessment, I've got those highlighted now. I've got them actually broken down into 3 different categories, extreme concern, moderate concern, and Notable concern. It's the 3 categories, and I've literally got them highlighted in the documentation so that you won't see me sitting there digging through the report looking for the things I want to discuss. They're already highlighted, and that not only in my copy, but also in the copy that's available for download for everybody else. So that's for the $5 and up patrons, and I welcome you over there for that, or even the $2. The $2 ones don't get the weekly threat assessment, but hey, do what you feel is best, or if you don't want to come over there, that's fine too. Doesn't matter to me. It really doesn't. I am trying to use that platform to build what it is that we do. And that is going to benefit not only Patreon, but also YouTube. So it's kind of one of those things. Anyway, let's do some headlines and let's get out of here. Everything is from this morning that I put out. A U.S. State Department promises more firm action. Let me try that again. Let me just start over. Maybe I need a drink of coffee. We'll start that completely over. Hey, I already done screwed up the intro once to doing the YouTube, the dark side part of things. I screwed up once and had to restart. You guys don't get to see that blooper, though. Patreon does. All right. U.S. State Department promises more firm action against Myanmar's military junta after woman fatally shot at anti-coup protest. Fury as SNL joke about Israel vaccinating Jewish half of population comes too close to calling it apartheid state. Boeing backs decision to suspend 777s with the Pratt & Whitney 4000 engines by U.S., and Japan recommends airlines follow suit. So yeah, there were 2 instances of those engines literally coming apart. One of them happened, I think it was Denver, and the other one was in the Netherlands. So crazy. Russian-Germany trade turnover falls to the lowest level in 16 years. It should be the last national lockdown, says UK Vax Minister, ahead of PM's long-awaited announcement to ease COVID restrictions. Top Chinese official announces reforms will only allow patriots to govern Hong Kong. We might be doing something wrong, Carnegie think tank VP says about Rolls-Royce sales hitting all-time high in Russia. Stop putting ideology on our children's plates, French minister says after major city removes meat from school lunches. Didn't we have a first lady that... saying. Tech firms unveil anti-disinformation code in Australia as call for action follows government inquiries. Beijing urges U.S. to return to Iran nuclear deal after watchdog secures last-minute deal to temporarily extend site inspections. Yikes. Drinking coffee. What a twist. Bitcoin investments bring Tesla more returns than sales of electric vehicles. Russian e-commerce market posts explosive growth during COVID pandemic. UK's COVID vaccine rollout slashed hospitalization rates by up to 94%, Scottish data reveals. UK police apologize for campaign warning Brits that being offensive is a crime. So you remember that, Brits. Being offensive is a crime. Don't you be offensive, because I'll crime you. Italian ambassador killed in an attack on UN peacekeepers in Democratic Republic of Congo. Making light, public servants shouldn't weigh more than 100 kilograms, Russia's veteran nationalist politician suggests. White supremacy and neo-Nazi movements are a transitional threat which grows more dangerous by the day, says the UN chief. UK MPs to debate removing the Northern Ireland Protocol from the Brexit deal with the EU after Brussels triggered it during vaccine row. UK homeless deaths rose by a third in 2020 as COVID hit social sector cut to the bone by years of austerity, researchers say. Entire school board resigns after making disparaging comments about parents during a live meeting. UK arms sales to Saudi Arabia prolonging war in Yemen, says Oxfam. Cybercriminals adopted silent stealing scams during the COVID-19 pandemic, and people working at home are the most likely target. Republicans sound alarm over major U-turn by Biden administration on Russia to Europe gas pipeline. UK to ban Boeing 777s with same engines that blew up and shred debris over Netherlands and the US, says the Transport Secretary. Thank you, says MyPillow's Mike Lindell as he's finally sued by Dominion after months of begging. Iranian parliament calls for President Rouhani to be prosecuted over illegal agreement with IAEA. COVID-19 lockdown sees people across UK spend an extra 14 hours a week sitting down than before the pandemic, says a survey. Why would anyone get the jab after this? AP criticized for saying COVID vaccination won't bring life back to normal. Protesters rally in Algerian capital, marking rebirth of popular Hirak uprising that ousted President Bouteflika in 2019. Iran will enrich uranium up to 60% if it wants to, Khamenei warns amid discontent over IAEA deals. So, yeah, they were pissed off. The people were pissed off over Rouhani, right? And so Khamenei says that we'll do whatever the hell we want. Hell with Rouhani. So let's see where this goes. Pubs and shops in England to reopen in April. Schools start back in 2 weeks as Prime Minister Johnson unveils COVID lockdown exit. Mandatory glasses next. Spectacle wearers 2 or 3 times less likely to get COVID-19, a study suggests. There is no credible route to zero COVID Britain, Boris Johnson says as he unveils irreversible lockdown lifting plan. Irreversible lockdown lifting plan. Dutch restaurant group suing state over COVID closures warns industry is on brink of bankruptcy with no end to lockdown in sight. Governor Pritzker to sign controversial police reform bill into law. We spoke about that tonight. U.S. deaths at brink of 500,000, confirming virus's tragic reach. Inviting erosion of voter confidence, Justice Thomas calls out SCOTUS for baffling refusal to hear Pennsylvania election case. Fresh protests erupt in Lebanon amid public fury over Beirut port blast, legal system, and financial issues. 7 minutes of terror, NASA reveals final nerve-shredding moments of rover's descent to Mars. U.S. flags to fly at half-mast, Biden to lead candlelit commemoration as America's COVID death toll hits 500,000. German Special Forces soldiers training in Arizona mistaken for terrorists after bizarre visit to a local hospital. Trump cries it's fascism, not justice, as SCOTUS allows release of tax returns to New York prosecutor and adds he won the 2020 election. Moscow disappointed with Brussels pressing dysfunctional sanctions button as EU prepares for new blacklist over Navalny's jailing. Fighting disinformation or chilling attack on free speech, Democrats ask cable operators why they don't censor Fox News, OAN, and Newsmax. Beauty queen wife of El Chapo drug lord arrested in Virginia on drug trafficking charges, accused of planning 2 prison escapes. Meghan McCain calls to fire Fauci after inconsistent messaging on COVID-19, gets roasted for slamming disaster vaccine rollout. Let's see. Biden's Attorney General nominee Garland dodges question of illegal immigration, if illegal immigration should remain a crime. So that's your headlines. That's it. That's all of them. I am going to get out of here. Tomorrow's another day. God willing, we'll be back there when it arrives. So we'll see. I'm tired. So I hope everybody has a good evening. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.